Good morning and welcome back to the 8 Days of Abundance with Green Tara. Today we are going to, hi, welcome back. So good to see y'all. I'm popping onto the chat. Feel free to say hello, share where you're watching live from. If you are watching the video replay, you can also introduce yourself there. Our community members love to get to know one another. Hi. Oh, thank you so much for such a warm welcome. Yeah, I actually had a pretty bad headache this morning. And so I'm going to do my best to channel this in a really good way. I'm really happy to be here. But thanks for your patience as I pull my thoughts together. Anyone else have a morning like that? So I'm just turning to page. Oh yeah, Green Tara wanted me to read an aspect this morning for us from the Key Code 3 initiation. So those of you just joining live, if you've got your copy of the Sophia Code, we're doing 8 days of abundance with Green Tara. This is my Green Tara Tanka behind me. Green Tara has an entire chapter in the Sophia Code devoted to her source, her original source teachings of divine feminine sovereignty and recognizing, accessing, and activating the Christ consciousness of your own higher self within you. And oh, so sweet to see your beautiful comments. Thanks, everyone. And I'm so glad you enjoyed the prayer collective call. If you haven't listened to that prayer collective call, we've gotten some incredible feedback about it. And definitely be sure to receive those healing energies with Kuan Yin. So, okay, let's see. So we're working through the 8 great virtues of self-love that are featured in chapter 8 of the Sophia Code. My bookmark was in the wrong place. So I'm going to just head on over there to where those virtues are. Great. So the virtues, you can find the virtues on page 137. So good morning, part of Green Tara's practice, the traditional practice, is helping the practitioner overcome the 8 great fears. And the 8 great fears are listed on page 136, but then later on in her chapter on page 137, Green Tara offers us the healing empowerments, the virtues, the resonances that heal these 8 great fears. And as I shared yesterday in day 1 of our abundance journey, we have an enormous amount of collective fear when we approach the topic of abundance. Not to mention an amazing amount of double bind beliefs when it comes to abundance and prosperity. So everybody wants to be wealthy, but they judge wealthy people, for example. And as we talked about yesterday, it's like, if you really want to have unlimited resources, then we all need to mind our own business and stop judging people who do have unlimited resources, because that's keeping us from accessing and materializing the divine inheritance of our higher self, of our divinity, into the different material world assets that we need to fulfill our divine purpose and to bring great blessings to ourselves, our families, our communities, our workplaces. And so when we are talking about wealth consciousness, abundance consciousness, from the context of these ascended masters, such as Green Tara, Isis, Lakshmi is definitely going to be a key code of the Sophia Code. We are talking about wealth, prosperity, and abundance consciousness that is directly connected to you being in alignment with your, number 1, your divine purpose, being in alignment with listening to your heart, choosing self-love over fear, and having a daily communion with your source, which is your source of all abundance. Source meaning the same word that we use for sources, God or Sophia or Great Spirit. It's the consciousness, the creator, the creatrix of all life that created all that is. Yeah, so Melinda is sharing in the chat right now a very authentic share. She's saying the thought of abundance makes me panic. I am like off the rails excited to see the truth there, because that is the truth. Most people are terrified of abundance, but then they complain and they blame themselves or they blame God. Or not to say you're doing that, Melinda, but this is a great teaching moment, is that we want to feel the freedom of abundance, but there's so much that scares us about it. Much of it can be our societal programming, our family programming, our religious programming that keeps us divided from abundance consciousness. It keeps us afraid of the blessings that come with abundance. The other fear that people have, that a lot of people don't know it, is the fear of responsibility that comes with abundance. When you are abundant in your life, there are a lot of relationships. There can be a lot of financial resources to manage. There can be a lot of responsibilities that, tending to the resources, homes, business places, community centers, like abundance does come with the responsibility of caring for that which you're calling in to both bless yourself and others. And so if we don't have a deep relationship with our own hearts first, of course, like abundance is going to be intimidating, because even if you do have a deep relationship with your own heart, abundance is intimidating. It's always asking us to step up and resource the energy of God and God's divine will for our lives to prosper, for that divine will energy to pour through us to manage, enjoy, and delegate how those abundant resources are being used. And anyway, so I just wanted to speak to those fears because it's natural. It is totally, well, I don't want to say it's natural, because our natural state is to be in full acceptance of the abundance of God for ourselves and for life, because that's what we are. We are God in human form, and life is abundant. But to normalize the emotion of fear around abundance, we've all been traumatized and programmed to be afraid of, people associate abundance with the word money, but abundance is so much more than money. Yes, it includes financial resources, wealth, but prosperity and abundance consciousness also includes like loving relationships, a thriving career or business or purpose or ministry. And it includes deep-hearted connections with community. It includes your gifts and talents thriving. It includes play. It can include luxurious experiences or meaningful experiences for you. So abundance is a conversation that we're having with our higher self, our hearts, our innocence, that wants us to guide us to our best life, wants us to guide us to our most creative life. And you can have an extremely high level potential life, and it's not necessarily about the income level that you're living at, or it's about the level of appreciation, gratitude, and creativity that you are embodying and enjoying and exploring as life continues to present gift after gift after gift of connection. Abundance is connection with your source, and identifying that your source is manifesting in so many different ways in your life to bless you, to connect with you, to grow you, to expand you. And